This conference
in
will
an
now be
organization
recorded.
is supporting as a software. Okay, so we were discussing regarding the activities that are happening in a procurement department. SAP Materials Management will support procurement department for their day-to-day business processes execution as a software. That is what we were trying to discuss yesterday. Okay, so in today's class, let us discuss about the activities that are being happening in the procurement department. So it is mandatory to understand the procurement department activities thoroughly so that you will be able to map SAP materials management business processes quite easily. Okay, so let us start. I will try to go through the activities that are happening in the procurement department. So yesterday we discussed the first and foremost activity that is being happening in the procurement department is procurement of various types of materials. So activity number one that is happening in the procurement department is procurement of various materials. When I say procurement of various materials, those are nothing but the first and foremost material type that is being procured in the procurement department is raw materials, right? So we discussed yesterday what are the raw materials that are available in an organization. Okay, so the raw materials are based upon the type of industry. You will be using various types of raw materials in an organization. Okay, let us say yesterday we have taken some of the examples of steel industry. In the steel industry, you will be using the raw material as a iron ore. So iron ore, you are going to use it as a raw material. So let me write it down over here. Iron ore is one of the raw material, and you will be having the sponge iron as one of the raw material. So like this, if your industry is a plastic molding industry, in the plastic molding industry, you will be using the materials like, let us say, plastic industry. In the plastic industry, we will be using the materials like PP granules, etc. as a raw materials. Okay, so these are the types of raw materials. Based upon the type of the industry, you will be procuring to execute the production processes. Then we have one more type of material type, that is spare materials, right? Spare materials. When I say spare materials, what are the various types of spare materials? Let us say my industry is a car industry. Within the car industry, I will be using spare materials like tires, tubes, and all those things are the spare materials, right?
Machine
Tire,
spare, yeah.
tube, and bearings, something, any spare material. There will be various types of spare materials that will be used in an organization. So all those materials will be coming under as a material type spare. You will also have the packaging materials, right? What are the types of packaging materials? Packaging material. What are the packaging materials? Packaging materials are like some of the cotton boxes. Cotton box is one of the packaging material.
Fresh
Then you
film.
will have some tapes. Okay, tapes, polythene bags, right? Polythene bags and thermocol, etc. So these are the some of the packaging materials. Then you will be having the consumables. When I say consumables, consumables are nothing but like oxygen gas, nitrogen, all those things, various types of gases that will be coming under consumables like nitrogen, oxygen, etc. Hi. So oxygen, etc. So like this, if you see in SAP, there are some 16 to 20 different material types will be there. So based upon the type of the material and the type of the industry, you are going to procure those materials into your organization or the company. So all these material procurement processes will be executed by the procurement department. Okay, so let me show it to you in SAP system what and all the various types of materials that are there that are taken care by the procurement department to do the procurement activities. So let me get into the SAP system. This is just for your understanding purpose. We are going to discuss everything in detail in the coming sessions. Okay, so I just want to show it to you how many materials that are available in the SAP as a standard material types. Okay, let me go to the SAP system. So I will go to the SAP. Oh, you are not able to see, right? Okay, can you switch on that? 1 minute. Give me a second. Okay, our projector is not working. No, 1 minute. Okay, give me a second. Our projector is getting started. They have somebody removed the connection of the projector. Somebody removed. 1 minute. Hey, Rafi. Hello. अरे ये कंप्यूटर कौन यूज करता है यार पूरा निकाल के निकाल देता है सब कुछ खत्म कर देता है कौन यूज करता है आप करना हाँ हेलो कौन यूज करता है डेली पूरा निकाल के फेंक देता है जो निकालता है ना उसको बराबर करने के लिए बोला ना डेली यही प्रॉब्लम चलता है अभी प्रोजेक्टर कुछ नहीं चल रहा है कुछ भी नहीं चल रहा है सिस्टम चल रहा है प्रोजेक्टर पूरा निकाल के फेंक दिया है पूरा इधर okay so sorry let us start so okay so let me log in into the SAP system. Okay, so everyone, if you want to log in into the SAP system, this is something known as a graphical user interface. So you just need to download the graphical user interface. We will let you know how to download this particular graphical user interface when we are trying to do the activities in the SAP system. Okay, so if I want to log in into the SAP system, I just need to double click on this particular icon. This is just for your understanding purpose. We are going to discuss these things in detail in the coming sessions. Okay, so let me enter the user ID details. So this is the user ID which is provided for me and the password. So I will be entering the password as welcome123. Just click on enter button. Okay, so if I wanted to see the material types, okay, so I will go to one of the transaction code known as SPRO, SAP Project Reference Object. SAP Reference Project. SAP Project Reference Object is nothing but the full form of the SAP system. So we are going to learn these things in detail. No need to write it down now. Okay. If you want to write it down, no, you can write it down. We are still not getting to the SAP system. I am just trying to show it to you what and all the material types that are available in SAP system. Okay, so let me go to the SAP reference implementation guide, and I will go to the logistics general. So I will go to the logistic general and material master, basic settings, material types, define attributes of the material types. You see over here, these and all the various types of materials. I think there are some 68 materials, but some materials are duplicates. Okay. So, but if you see the SAP standard material types, there will be some 20 to 24 different material types will be there. So, I will be using those material types based upon the type of industry for which I am trying to do the implementation. If my industry is a mechanical industry, I will be using the material type as a spare parts, right? Then every industry will be having the finished products. Any company, they will have their finished product, means complete material. Let us say if in my company, if I am manufacturing air conditioners, air conditioner is a finished product. The individual components that I will be using in assembling the air conditioner will be coming as a spare material or raw materials like that. So like this, there will be various types of materials that are there in an organization, and every material will be procured by the procurement department for their day-to-day production purposes. Okay, so like this, I see this is some of the packaging material. Okay, like I have some of the finished semi-finished products, and we have very semi-finished product is there. Then service materials also will be there. Okay, we will see these things when we are discussing regarding the material master creation. Okay, so to do the procurement of the materials, the procurement department will follow various business processes. What are those business processes? We have some 18 to 20 different business processes are there. Okay, one of the business processes, just for your understanding purpose, is the domestic procurement process. Domestic procurement process. What is domestic procurement process? Can anyone tell what is the domestic purchasing activity or the domestic procurement activity? What is domestic procurement? Anyone online? Can you tell me what exactly the meaning of the domestic procurement that is happening in the procurement department? Hello?
The products which require internal, any internal products.
Domestic
Within the
procurement.
country?
Yeah, exactly. So domestic procurement, I have one company. So my company is located in India. Okay. I am also trying to procure the materials from one of the vendor or the supplier who is also located within India. If I am doing the procurement from a supplier who is located in India for the plant or the company located in India, then I will be calling as a domestic procurement process. Then there is one more type of procurement process that is happening in the procurement department, that is import procurement process. So what is import procurement process? Import procurement process is nothing but I have a company that is located in India, and I have a supplier who is located outside India. Means maybe he is located in Germany or US. So if I am doing a procurement from the supplier who is located in Germany to the company or the plant located in India, so I can say this is the import procurement process. So scenario steps means that the steps that I am trying to execute in domestic procurement is different compared to the steps that I am trying to execute in the import procurement process. So the process steps are completely different. So here in the domestic procurement, what and all the processes or the steps I am trying to execute, those are differ from the import procurement process. So like this, you have so many other procurement processes or the scenarios as well, like one is subcontracting process, and you will be having consignment procurement process, consignment procurement process. Also, you will be having some of the intra-company and inter-company scenarios. Okay, so there are some of the other procurement processes as well. Those are intra-company and inter-company STO scenarios. Intercompany STO, nothing but a stock transfer order. Stock transfer order scenarios. Okay, so like this, there are some 18 to 20 different business processes executed in the procurement department. All these business processes will be supported by SAP as a software or the enterprise resource planning software. So I can mention over here. So all these business processes will be supported by SAP system as a software. How SAP is going to support? What are the configurations or the master data, and what type of transactional data which we need to execute in SAP to execute these business processes or the scenarios? We will be seeing it in the coming sessions. Okay, so apart from the material procurement, there is also one more type of activity that is happening in the procurement department, that is activity number 2. So activity number 2 is the procurement of the services. Apart from the material procurement, in the procurement department, there is one more activity that is happening, that is procurement of various types of services. What is the service? Can anyone tell? What is service and what is material procurement? What is the difference between the service and the material procurement? So initially we discussed regarding the material procurement. There will be various types of materials like steel, plastic and all those things. We also have one of the other type of procurement that is happening in the procurement department, that is a service procurement. What is service? What is the difference between the material and the service? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So the main difference between the material and the service is you can quantify the material. Means I am buying 1000 tons of steel. So I can physically visualize the steel. Like I will be receiving 1000 tons of steel into my company. I will physically visualize the steel which I am trying to buy. But when it comes to the service, there is no physical visibility. You will not be able to visualize the services physically. Like what is one type of service? I will give some of the examples of the service, like online training services. Let us say in my company, I am the HR management department. I am the HR manager. I want to give some training to the employees, like on Six Sigma functionalities. Then what I will do? I will search for any one of the employee who is having the knowledge in Six Sigma. If anybody is there in my company who will be able to provide the training on Six Sigma functionalities, then I will ask him to provide the training to the employees. He will give it to them. Then my work is done. But let us say I did not find any employee who is having the skills on Six Sigma functionalities in my company. Then what I have to do? I need to go for the outside trainer. Outside trainers will not come for free, right? So I need to pay some amount of money. So I need to have some agreement against that particular person. Means like per day how much amount of money he is going to charge. Let us say he is going to charge some 10,000 rupees per day. Let us say he completed the training for 10 days. So 10 multiplied by 10,000, 1 lakh rupees I need to pay as a service charges. Like this, there are various types of services, but here the online training services, I am not going to physically visualize, right? Instead, it is under assumption only. He will give and give the training, that's it. I will not be able to physically quantify the service that he provided. So like this, there will be various types of training services in an organization. Like online training services is one thing. Then machinery maintenance services. In my company, there will be various machines in the production department. If I wanted to have the service to be executed for one of the machine, I will call the external vendors who will be coming into my company and doing the services of that particular machinery. So I will be paying an amount of money per day or per week, like that. Also, there will be a painting services. Painting also one of the service only. If you want to paint the buildings of a company, you will hire one of the external painter. He will come to your company and do the painting activities. Per square feet, you are going to pay some amount of money as a painting services. So like that, there are various types of services that are used in the organization. All these service related procurement activities will be taken care by the procurement department. So SAP materials management will also support the procurement of the services as a software. So SAP materials management, apart from the material procurement, it will also support the procurement of the services. Okay. So these are the activities normally will be executed by the procurement department, and SAP MM will support 100% of activities that are happening in the procurement department as a software. Then there is one more department in an organization known as stores, right? Everybody heard about the stores department. Stores or inventory management. So stores are the inventory management. What is the activity that is happening? What is the main activity of this department? Can anyone tell what they are doing?
Storing and issuing of material.
Okay, very good. So the procurement, the inventory management department. Okay, so I think somebody, can you hear me? I think Ballamwar, can you hear me? You said I am not able to hear you.
No, sir. Yes, sir. Now I am able to hear you.
Okay. Okay, so stores are inventory management department. The main activity of the stores department is whatever may be the materials that are being procured by the procurement department will be stored under stores or the inventory management or the warehouse department for some period of time. Whenever there is a requirement from the production department came for the issuance of these materials, stores department will issue the materials from the stores so that they will be able to use these materials in the production processes. Stores department is acting as a bank only. So what you will do in bank? In bank you are storing the money, but in the stores or the warehouse department you are going to store the materials. Material is nothing but indirectly a money only. Okay, so you are going into the external market and making some payment to the vendor suppliers, so they will be delivering the material to your company premises, and you are storing those materials into the warehouse or the stores department before consuming into the production processes. So what are the normal activities that are happening in the stores? One activity is the storage of the material, storage of materials in proper condition. Okay, so you should not keep the materials outside the atmosphere so that it will get corrupted. Okay, also you need to control the inventory of the materials. The main activity of the stores department is control of inventory. Means I should not buy a material in huge quantities. If I need one bearing is there, per month I need to have only 5,000 numbers in my production processes. I should buy at least 7,000, 8,000, that's it. I should not buy 1 lakh numbers and keep it in my stores department. If you buy 1 lakh, what will happen? It is waste of money. You are unnecessarily blocking the money. Okay, then you should not buy only 2,000 numbers. If you buy only 2,000 numbers, what will happen? You will lose the production. Yeah, because of the non-availability of the bearings, there is a chances of your production get hampered. So you need to control the inventory in a proper manner. You should not keep high levels of the inventory so that your blockage of money will be happening. You should not keep very low inventory so that your production will be hampered. Also, you need to have various reports generated. Means one of the main activity of the stores department is every day they will generate the stock statement or the stock status report. Means for each and every material how much stock you have today and what exactly the quantity that you require. All the stock statement reports, stock valuation reports will be downloaded and prepared and given to the various departments like production department and the procurement department and for the planning department. So by looking into that stock figures, they will do the planning. By considering the stock figures, they will be doing the planning activities. Also, one of the other activity that is happening in the stores is the physical inventory process. Physical inventory process is nothing but your physical stocks and whatever may be the stocks that are showing in the SAP system, both should match at any moment of time. Let us say there is one bearing in my company. If I see in SAP that particular bearing is showing as 1,000 numbers. When I physically went into the stores department and counted those bearings, I should also see 1000 numbers available over there as a bearing. If there is a difference, then it is not at all acceptable. In my SAP system, let us say it is showing 1000 numbers, but when you counted, it should be equal to the 1000 numbers only. The net difference between the SAP stocks and the system stocks should always 0. But in SAP system, I have 1000 numbers, and when I counted physically, physical figures are, let us say in SAP I have 1000, and when I counted it is only 950. So what happened to there is a difference of 50 numbers. So what happened to the remaining 50 numbers? Did somebody came to the storage department and stolen the material? So these things are not acceptable. As a stores in charge, you need to take care of the materials that you are storing in the warehouse. Why? Because it involves a lot of cost. There are some materials which are almost some 1 crore worth or 2 crores worth, etc. So at any moment of time, your SAP stocks and the system stocks should completely match. So this one of the activity which is happening in the stores or the inventory management department will be called as a physical inventory verification process. There will be one team sitting in the stores department. They will be continuously monitoring the SAP stocks and the system stocks, and they will ensure that the difference between both the stocks should be 0. Okay, so this is one of the activity that is happening in the warehouse department. SAP materials management will support the warehouse management or the inventory management related activities up to some level only. Up to some level means not completely. It will support only some 30% of the business processes that are happening in the stores. You don't have the solutions available in SAP MM completely for the warehouse activities. If you want to have the solution available completely for the warehouse activities, you need to go for the another module known as SAP WM. WM is nothing but warehouse management. Okay, so apart from warehouse management, we also have one more other thing known as the SAP EWM. EWM is nothing but extended warehouse management. So extended warehouse management is the latest solution for the warehouse management solutions or the inventory management related activities. But if you cannot directly learn SAP WM or EWM, means if you want to understand SAP WM or EWM functionalities, you need to understand the SAP MM first. Without having the SAP MM knowledge, it will be little bit difficult to understand WM and EWM functionalities. Okay, but SAP EWM is a high demanded module nowadays. Yeah, yes, it's a highly demanded module nowadays. If you have experience in EWM, it is quite good. There is huge chances of getting the jobs, and the package also will be too high. Okay, so first, if you want to learn SAP MM, then extend your skills in EWM later onwards. But without having SAP MM knowledge, it will be difficult to understand SAP EWM, etc. Okay, so the SAP MM module which we are going to try, which we are going to learn, will support the procurement activities 100%, and it will also support up to 30% of the inventory management related solutions. Okay, so this is some of the introduction to the procurement activities and the inventory management related activities. So any doubts on this till here? Any doubts? regarding the activities that are happening in the procurement department and the inventory management department? Okay, so if there is no doubts, we can continue with the further topic. The further topic is not only SAP materials management or SAP as the ERP package, we have so many other ERP packages as well in the market. So what are those ERP packages? We will just see for some moment of time. We have one of the ERP package known as Oracle. So Oracle was developed by the Oracle Corporation. And it was observed that Oracle was quite good in providing the solutions for finance module or the finance related solutions or the finance department related activities. So it is quite good in providing the solutions for the finance department activities. Then we have one of the other software known as JD Edwards. JD Edwards is the another software. We also can call this as a PeopleSoft. Then we have AS400. JD Edwards PeopleSoft AS400 is quite good in providing solutions for the human resource management department, like salary processing, payroll, and training, appraisal system. All those things will be part of your JD Edwards or the human resource management related solutions. So this will support human resource department related processes or functionalities. Then we have Microsoft Dynamics. So Microsoft Dynamics is quite good in providing solutions for the sales and distribution department related activities or the sales department. Every company will have sales department, right? So you are producing some material in your company, then you need to sell that particular material to the customers, right? So you need to have the sales department. So in the sales department, there are so many activities that are happening. So Microsoft Dynamics is one of the software which will provide the quite good solutions for the sales related activities. Then we have Tally system. I think Tally everybody knows it. So Tally is one of the software which will be used for the mid-sized and medium-sized organizations / medium, mid-size or medium-sized organizations, right? Organizations as a ERP software. Then we have Care 5000 and we have Fusion and we have Sibyl and we have BAN. So these are the some of the softwares which will be also used for the medium-sized and mid-sized organizations as a ERP packages. Okay, so apart from this, we have one of the other software known as SAP. So everyone knows what is SAP. It is a full form of SAP is systems, applications and products. Applications and products in data processing. In processing data. Okay, so systems, applications and products in processing the data. Okay, so what are the advantages of SAP compared to the other softwares or the other enterprise resource planning tools? The one of the main advantages, every software is having their own advantages. Oracle is having their own advantages and Tally is having their own advantages, but compared to those systems, SAP is having its own advantages. So what is the advantage number one of the SAP system? Okay, so what are the advantages? So the advantage number one of the SAP system is it supports English as a language by default. Support English as a language. By default, it will support English. Let us say I am the person, I know English, so I wanted to perform the transactions in English. I will be able to do the transactions in English. I don't know English, but I know German language, so I will be able to do the transactions in German or Japanese. So it supports English as a language by default, and it also supports country specific languages. Country specific languages as a software. So how it supports, let me show it to you. I can do the transactions in multiple languages over here based upon my knowledge levels. So this is something known as English, right? So which we have seen now, it is English. So let me okay, so if I wanted to perform the transactions over here, I can perform the transactions in English. Let us say by default, it is taking English as a language. See, this is the English as a language, right? I have selected English as a language. Then I will be able to perform the transactions in English. Let us say I want to perform one. So if I want to perform one purchase order creation, I can do the purchase order creation by using the language as English. So everything is mentioned over here as English. Okay, so let us say I don't know the English and I know the only German language. So how I will be able to do the transactions in German? I can do the transactions in German language as well. I just need to double click on this particular icon and I need to enter the password and the user ID details over here. And here you see there is one thing known as English. English is, let us say I wanted to do the transactions in German language. ఒక్క నిమిషం ఇది అది అటువైపు వెళ్తుంది ఏంటి సరిగ్గా పట్టలేదు బోర్డు అంతా కవర్ అవ్వటంలా Okay, now it is fine. మొత్తం ఇదంతా తీసేసేసారు ఈరోజు. Okay, so now I wanted to do the transactions in German. Okay, I wanted to do the transactions in German language. So I need to enter the language key over here as a German DE. So I just click on enter. You see over here the same thing I can see in German language over here. So this is everything is a German language. So based upon my understanding, I am trying to do the, so this is something like this. So if I want to create a purchase order, I can do the transactions in the language, German language. See, everything is in German right here. So like this, SAP will support English as a language. Also, it will support the country specific languages while doing the transactions in it. Okay, so that is one of the advantage of the SAP. The advantage number two. Advantage number two is it supports it supports the solutions that are common across the world. Also, it supports country specific solutions as well. Country specific solutions along with common solutions. Common solutions means like you are buying one material from a vendor. So the business scenario or the steps are same. If you do the procurement in India or if you do the procurement in US, the business steps will be same for that particular activity. Apart from that common solutions, it will also support the country specific requirements. Country specific requirements are nothing but tax. So in India, you have the tax as now GST, right? But when you go, if you go to the, so before GST, we have complicated tax structure in India that is known as country India versus SIN. We have as a GST, we have CGST now and IGST and SGST, right? But prior to GST, we have so much of complex tax structure in India. So we have VAT, we have educational cess, we have CVD. Like that, we have so much of complicated structure in India, right? So at that time also, SAP was able to provide the solutions for the tax. Like now, if you go to the Brazil, the tax is completely different, right? It is a country specific tax. One of the most complicated tax structure in the world is Brazil. So Brazil tax structure also will be supported by SAP. Means when it comes to the tax, tax is specific to a country. In India, you will have one tax. If you go to the Brazil, you will have the altogether a separate tax structure. So it supports the common solutions like procurement process. Also, it will also support the country specific tax requirements or legal requirements. So this is one of the every other softwares also will support. It is not like that other softwares are not supporting, but SAP is having some of the other advantages compared to the other softwares. Okay, so this is one of the step number 2, advantage number 2, where it supports the country specific solutions as well. Then what is the advantage number 3? Advantage number 3 is it is having a strong client server architecture. It has strong client server architecture. What is strong client server architecture? The strong client server architecture is nothing but the latest architecture that SAP is having is the R3 architecture. So SAP R3 architecture. What is SAP R3? SAP R3 nothing but real-time 3-tier architecture. So the latest architecture that SAP is having is the SAP R3, which is nothing but a real-time 3-tier architecture. So because of real-time 3-tier architecture, SAP is a robust system. Robust means even though 30,000 or 40,000 people are working upon SAP in one go, the performance of the system is not going to impact. The speed of the system is not going to impact. It will give you the results with the same speed when one person is logged into the system and working upon it. Like you take Indian Railways, there are 11 lakh employees. So at any moment of time, maybe 30,000 people are working upon SAP system of the Indian Railways. Even though 30,000 people are working upon, the performance and the speed of the system is same. Only one person is logged in and working upon it. The speed of the system is same. So the performance of the system is not going to impact based upon the number of users working upon it. How is it possible? It is possible because of the architecture in data processing. So it has a three-tier architecture. The latest upgraded version of the SAP is having the three-tier architecture. So then when I say three-tier architecture, what is the meaning of the three-tier architecture? How many levels that are there in the three-tier architecture? So in the three-tier architecture, we have three levels in data processing. So level one is the presentation layer. So this is one of the interview question. So in the interviews, they can ask what are the three levels that are available in the three-tier architecture. Then you need to say, so the level one is the presentation layer. So presentation layer is one of the level one in the three-tier architecture. And level two is the application layer. And level 3 is the database layer. Okay, so what is presentation layer? Presentation layer is nothing but it helps the users or the people who are working in SAP system to be able to access SAP and do their day-to-day activities or the transactions. So presentation layer will enable users to perform, will enable users to be able to access SAP and do transactions based on their role. Means let us say I am the person working in the procurement department. As a part of my day-to-day activity, I will be performing purchase order creation or the purchase requisition creation. Then I need to have the access, right? I need to have the access to the SAP system. Then only I will be able to perform that particular activity. So this is nothing but a presentation layer. Presentation layer will provide you the access. How it will provide? It will provide the access by one of the interface known as a graphical user interface. So you see over here there is something known as a SAP logon pad. This I will be calling as a graphical user interface or the logon pad. So I need to download this particular logon pad from the one of the link provided by the SAP company. Once I downloaded, I just need to double click on it. I just need to double click on it. See, when I double click on it, this particular logon pad will be opening over here. And I need to configure the server details for which I wanted to have the connectivity. In SAP, there are various servers in the landscape, but whatever may be the server, I just want to have the connectivity. I need to specify the server details over here like this. This is the server which is provided to me for the access purpose. So this is the server provided to me for the access purpose. So I have configured the server details over here. So I will just double click it. I will go to the edit. So this is the server 49.207.9.23 for which I am trying to have the connectivity. Okay, so I just maintained the server details over here. And if I want to log in into the SAP system, I just need to double click on. I just need to double click on that particular icon. for which I wanted to have the connectivity. So see, I just want to connect over here. Then I need to enter the relevant password and the user ID details. Okay, then I will be able to log in into the SAP system. So this is nothing but a presentation layer. Means presentation layer is providing access to the SAP by via one of the interface known as a graphical user interface. Okay, so we will see in tomorrow's class what exactly the application layer, what is the database layer, and how the data is getting flown from the application layer to the database layer via presentation layer to the application layer and application layer to the database layer. We will see it on tomorrow's class. Okay. So any questions on today's class from the line? Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, any doubts on today's class?
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes.
Sir, since we are discussing about languages, for example, there is a scenario that within a company there are two teams, which one is working in Germany, one is working in India. So Indian person is working in English language and the other counterpart is working in German language. So the system itself convert the language for the access, or we have to make any changes by ourselves.
You just need, it is all automatically converting, right? So you just need to select the language key as in Germany over there and English
Okay.
as language key if you are working from India. So you just need to select the relevant language key when you are logging into the SAP system. Okay, so I just selected English, German, right? You need to select the relevant language key when you are logging into the SAP system. Okay, let us say I want to log in into the English. So I just need to select English over here. If I want to log in into the German, I just need to replace this English into the DE. DE is the language key for the German, right? Then it will automatically convert all the details into the German. Okay, so then we can meet tomorrow. Thanks for your time. Thanks for
Sir,
joining the call.
one
Yes.
doubt. So one doubt. With this class, can I crack an interview for 2 years of experience on SAP MM?
With this class means you need to attend all the 60 to 70 classes, then you will be able to crack.
Yes.
Not only with 1 or 2 classes. Okay.
That's
Okay, then we can meet tomorrow. Thanks for joining the call. Bye bye.